Hello everyone, this is Laura from Astropositive, and we are here to talk about the coming month of December 2025. What does it have in store for us, astrologically speaking? It's the last month of the year, and it has been quite a rough ride for me personally, and probably that was the case also for many of you because of the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. That was the main feature since the spring of 2025, and this will continue till March of the next year. Well, the two of them, Saturn and Neptune, were together in the last degrees of Pisces. They made a brief appearance in Aries and then retrograded both into Pisces again. Where they are now. There is a positive side and a negative side to this, as usual, because this combination has the potential to make a dream turn into reality, to help us manifest a dream, because Neptune has to do with imagination, and Saturn is reality, anything concrete and tangible. On the other hand, well, there's also a negative side to it. The negative side is more readily felt, unfortunately, because Neptune might also mean confusion, and Saturn might mean sadness, especially in Pisces, which is it's a water sign, it's a mutable sign, so it's a sensitive, passive sign. So the two together there make for quite a depressing pair to be around. I am saying this because we are approaching the end of the year, and each month that passes brings us closer to the final exact conjunction that will occur in February 2026, and the release from this combination that will occur in March, and that is to look forward to. So not everything in astrology can always, be given a feel-good spin to it, and this Saturn-Neptune conjunction might just be one such example. So sometimes it just sucks. Okay, so in December we'll have some more of this, but this is not the whole story, luckily. Jupiter is trining these two from Cancer for the whole of December. So this lifts the tone of the Saturn-Neptune from sheer gloomy melancholy and defeat to something of the order of emotional balance and security and acceptance. Saturn and Neptune were retrograde till recently. Saturn has just turned direct on the 25th, while Neptune will do the same on the 11th of December. While retrograde, they both made us take a deep look within ourselves, to understand where we let ourselves be victimized, for instance, where we let ourselves and others down, what we need to liberate ourselves from, and what dreams we still harbor that we wish to see turned into reality. The trine from Jupiter is hugely helpful in this respect, because it brings that note of optimism that makes the difference, We are not just abandoned by the wayside, we are not just left out in the cold, which Saturn and Neptune in Pisces can very well imply. There is help and nurturing coming with Jupiter in Cancer, especially perhaps under the shape of family members, core values, going back to roots. We keep getting back to our emotional anchors with Jupiter retrograde for the whole of December and even beyond, actually. We feel the need to protect our emotions for the sake of our stability. We need to feel what is really of value to us, what we truly love, and what gives us shelter, metaphorically speaking. This is a trine, so resources are there. They are well balanced. They can put us back on a steady footing. Jupiter-Neptune together is also generosity, so we might feel very charitable towards others and give to others out of our plentiful supply of good intentions and good wishes. It's a time to be shamelessly idealistic and aim for peace and good understanding for all. This Jupiter-Saturn-Neptune trine has been turned into a water trine by all this grand trine, actually, by all the planets passing through Scorpio. And there was Mars and then the Sun, and now is the turn of Venus and Mercury. There will be a water grand trine that will be valid till mid-December. So this is a constant flow of emotions because we're speaking of a water trine, but emotions that might be kept to ourselves, as was the case the whole of November. The grand trine is like a low-resistance circuit. It's a closed circuit that lets the energy freely running in those tracks, that closed track, So that emotionally speaking, we might feel strangely cut off from others, all the while experiencing all this flow internally. This extraordinary duration for the grand water trine makes this a powerfully transformative moment. We go through a review of all our bottled up emotions, and we reassess what is really important for us. And eventually we will emerge in the second half of December, when this water grand trine will dissolve, with more clarity about ourselves and what we hold dear. Interestingly, towards the end of December, Venus, Sun, Mars, and Juno will all unite, well, tend to unite, in Capricorn. And this might just signal a new start, perhaps in our love life, in our love relationships. It would be highly appropriate after all this revision, emotional revision that we are going through right now. This grand water trine, in fact, is really turned into a kite, because Uranus, also retrograde during all of December, is opposing one of the angles. And Uranus is in Taurus, so it opposes the angle made by all those planets in Scorpio in turn. So it may provoke just sort of a last-minute revolution, because Uranus is in the last degrees of Taurus, and it will be the last time it will be there for the next 84 years. A kite is like a trine on a mission, because the inner work, the inner turmoil, might erupt at some time with unexpected results. With Uranus, because Uranus is leading the kite towards change, towards unorthodox solutions. We have to think out of the box with Uranus, because it will always surprise us. No matter what, we think we had it all covered, and in fact, no. Taurus is a sign that is concerned with material things, with tangible things. So Uranus's impact will be felt probably in a very concrete fashion. Taurus is also a Venus rule sign, and Venus will oppose Uranus on the last day of November, so it's coming right now. And this opposition will be valid for the first few days in December. And this will particularly affect Taurians, and particularly with respect to their love life, although material possessions can also be affected, can also be a target. In December, we see quite some planetary movement from one sign to the other. So the Sun, for example, changes signs on the 22nd from Sagittarius to Capricorn. For 3 weeks, we get to enjoy the optimistic, happy-go-lucky attitude of Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, so who knows himself to be a favorite of the king of the gods, and therefore is looking to the future with confidence. So new ideas, new plans for the future will come to us effortlessly, and we are supposed to embrace them with an open mind. The last week of December, the Sun will be in Capricorn, so it will call us back to our duties. Or perhaps we will feel ambition setting in to help us accomplish all these plans we were talking about, that were newly formed. Mercury will go from Scorpio to Sagittarius on the 12th. Enough dwelling upon the hardships of the past, enough trying to make sense of the suffering. It's time to turn the page and explore something new, explore other options. Mercury goes direct on the 30th of November. Great news! By then we will have received all the missing information, and we will have made up our minds. So by the 12th, Mercury will be free to partake in Sagittarius' zest for life. Venus is going from Sagittarius, where it just enters on the 1st of December, to Capricorn on the 25th. So she will spend most of the month in Sagittarius, where she will be happy to socialize and let her hair down, like me today, and have fun. The somber mood of November is giving way to a more flirty, light-hearted, and all-accepting mindset. After that, in Capricorn, maybe she will suffer a slight hangover from all this partying and regret it a little bit. But what's done is done, and it's time to get serious and consider commitment. And especially so as Venus will meet Juno, which rules the committed relationships, on her way out of Sagittarius in the last degrees of Sagittarius. She will carry this message of commitment to the Sun and Mars that she will meet later on, so that we can expect some interesting developments in the first days of January. Mars, on the other hand, is going from Sagittarius to Capricorn also on the 16th. In Sagittarius, it will be, well, as it is right now, energetic, thirsty for action, quite free-spirited. We will not suffer gladly to be told what to do. We have our independence to defend. But in Capricorn, it will be another story. So in the second half of the month, we will tend to adhere to a more corporate, business-like mindset, where work comes first. Our ambitions will justify the sacrifice of some of our pleasures. And we will be especially keen to work to attain our goals in the beginning of January with the Sun conjunct Mars there. But that is a story for later. As usual, during December, we will have one full moon and one new moon. I will talk about these more in detail in the weekly forecasts. But let's see a little bit. So, the full moon will occur on the 4th of December. It will happen at 13 degrees of Gemini, Sagittarius, it's an axis, widely opposing Venus and squaring the nodes. This will be a particularly restless time, where we will feel pulled between, the past and the future, represented by the South and the North Node. The question will be, are we staying with the secure, down-to-earth Virgo and South Node situation? Or are we going to embrace the uncertainty and foggy boundaries of Pisces, of the Pisces North Node? With this full moon, we might be tempted to have it both ways, because it occurs in Gemini. This is a dual sign that can oscillate and never decide on one choice, one course of action. The opposition to Venus says that this will play out in our love relationships mainly. So the temptation will be there to give both options a try. Juno will be conjunct Mars at that time, so commitment will feel like a struggle and committed relationships like a battlefield. Uranus is also opposing Black Moon Lilith from Taurus. So some hidden desires and cravings might suddenly surface and ask to manifest. The carefully hidden side of us that we might be ashamed of, that we were deeming like socially unacceptable, might be brought to light and claim its rights with a vengeance. So this might be a morally ambiguous time, a morally ambiguous full moon that will be quite tricky to navigate. And some sort of crisis concerning a choice and implying our core beliefs, because the Sun will be in Sagittarius, this will be at play. Well, the following new moon will occur on the 20th at 28 degrees of Sagittarius. It will be conjunct quite a lot of things. It will be conjunct Venus, Juno, Mars, and will be trining Chiron. So it will be quite a spectacular new beginning that is signaled there. This time we will be clear on our beliefs and worldview with Sagittarius. We will be ready to commit to one person as opposed to the previous full moon. We will pour our love towards this person, or project actually, and commit to one course of action. This will be an unusual commitment that will require quite a lot of open-mindedness, because this new moon is forming a quincunx to Uranus, which is in an anaretic degree at the very end of Taurus. So it's quite like a last-minute call to action. Open-mindedness is not a problem with the Sagittarius new moon that has a vision and believes in herself. Nonetheless, all this certainty and goodwill will run counter the pressure applied by the Saturn-Neptune square from Pisces. There will be some major hurdles in the way that only time and consistent effort actually will be able to remove, if they will be able to remove. We will have to fight disappointment also, and the temptation to throw in the towel with the square to Neptune. This is a serious engagement we are talking about, and we will have to be aware from the start that it won't be any walk in the park, actually. It will require major efforts to see things through. On the other hand, this might also mean an ending, because we might choose to give up the struggle. We might suddenly lose the battle with the quincunx to Uranus, because perhaps of a lack of fighting spirit, Neptune, and a lack of confidence in our abilities. That's square to the planet in Pisces. It's up to us to decide which outcome suits us best. The stellium in Sagittarius brings an optimistic outlook that speaks in favor of the first option. We choose our side and stick by it to the bitter end, but sometimes it is wiser to know, actually, when you don't stand a fighting chance. With the trine to Chiron, this situation, anyway, whatever the outcome, this situation will bring some sort of healing. It will heal especially our self-esteem because Chiron is in Aries, and we will feel, more confident in ourselves at the end of it. Okay, so let's look at Aries first, the first of the zodiac. So for Aries, there is this heavy activation of the 9th house in Sagittarius, the 9th house that is concerned with travel, with higher education, with spirituality. And Mars is now in Sagittarius till the 16th, and also the other planets that are right now, like the Sun in Sagittarius, or that are coming there, like Venus. So Aries is incited to express the Sagittarius side of itself, so more exploratory energy, is incited to go out to travel, see the world, get wiser also, and access maybe a higher, more spiritual version of themselves. This will be a welcome counterpart for Saturn-Neptune that is right now in the 12th house in Pisces. That must have dredged up quite a lot of murky, material from the subconscious. Aries people have done and still have to do a lot of inner work on themselves in order to discover their weak points and how they are giving in to their weaknesses, how they are letting themselves perhaps be used by others, or maybe not exploiting their potential to the maximum because of unconscious blockages. This is the 12th house. Chiron in Aries also was not much help because it is there for quite some time already, and is still chipping away at their confidence and creating embarrassing situations that test Aries' capacity to stand up for themselves. So believe it or not, for Aries, that is normally such a go-getter sign, usually all ready to boast of their achievements, there is a problem here with self-assertion. Pluto in Aquarius, in the meantime, in the 11th, will be of help in that respect because it will bolster self-esteem and help form a supportive circle of friends to serve as a pillar in this time of shaky self-confidence. Jupiter in the 4th in Cancer would also help to reinforce a strong family life, strong family ties, even though it is retrograde, and therefore some problems may arise there also. Aries might be tempted to invest in real estate, perhaps, because it's the 4th house and it's in Cancer. Maybe decorate their homes and generally fixing them up. And as this is a square aspect, probably there's plenty that needs fixing. Uranus retrograde in the 2nd will make Aries rethink their assets, their sources of income, and also their own personal values. In the second half, with Mars being in Capricorn as well, and then the Sun, the focus turns on the career and the social status, and ambition might be, bolstered, might run high, and there will be no stopping Aries for achieving what they set their mind to do. Lunations this month occur on the 3rd to the 9th axis, so you are mostly concerned with learning, preparing for a job, career, new task, communicating, and also probably just going places, traveling, and sightseeing. Actually, the full moon, which represents a crisis and a culmination, will occur on the 3rd house, in the 3rd house, meaning the problems there might be especially linked to communication, the way you express yourself, and the way you interact with your close environment, like neighbors, siblings, acquaintances. And the new beginning concerns the 9th house, which might see you embark on a new study course, perhaps, or just set out to travel. Questioning over matters of some philosophical import may arise also. So now let's see about the important dates in the month of December. So the 2nd of December might be important in terms of your committed relationships because Mars is conjoined Juno there. So you will feel more motivated to reinforce your commitments. On the 5th, Mars is trining Chiron, so some healing may occur. You might be more, indulgent with yourself and more tolerant of other people's shortcomings as well. On the 9th, Mars is square Saturn, and that day might be a day of blockages, hard work, a bit tiresome also. It's a test of your patience, basically, and we know Aries doesn't have much patience, isn't it? On the 14th, Mars is squaring Neptune, so it might be a day when you feel inspired, but it's also a day when you feel a bit tired, weak, sleepy also, and you might also, you are susceptible to get some infection from the environment, like some germs, so watch out for the flu. Taurus now. So, Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is in Sagittarius till the 25th, and then it will go on to Capricorn. It's in Sagittarius together with other planets like the Sun and Mars that are already there. And it is about shared values, because it's the 8th house from Taurus. Shared values and property, about shared intimacy as well. So how much of yourselves you disclose to your significant other. It might also bring good financial tidings. It's a great time to receive back your due and maybe some more on top of it. But perhaps not enough to win the lottery though. In the last week of December, there's a trine from the 9th house because it's in Capricorn, and it will offer an opportunity for you to travel in good company, most likely, or to tend to your education and spiritual evolution. Uranus is retrograding in your sign, and it's been there for the last 6-7 years, and that must have shaken you up a little bit, and especially in the first half of 2025. So now it is back for a last earthquake. Just when you thought you could breathe a sigh of relief, well, things are not stable yet. So don't rejoice too soon. You still have it in you to shock other people. Maybe you didn't yet get a chance to express your individuality to the fullest, or maybe you didn't reach that level of independence you are aiming for. Anyway, this is your second chance to do it. Saturn, Neptune in Pisces make you surround yourself with maybe older, more spiritually oriented friends, and maybe try to cut some ties and maybe even go into a sort of seclusion, looking for peace and quiet, because it's Pisces. Anyway, your social circle will go through a process of pruning to keep only those people that are truthful and faithful to you. And in the meantime, Pluto in the 10th puts quite a lot of pressure on your career and public status. You feel compelled to achieve. Maybe your professional goals are undergoing a huge transformation, and this will be the case for the next 20 years, for the time that Pluto will be in Aquarius. You are called to make quite an impact, so get ready, gather your forces. You are supposed to aim high for all of those years that Pluto will be in Aquarius. Jupiter in the 3rd makes for many educational opportunities, perhaps a good interaction also with siblings, neighbors, your close environment. And Chiron in the 12th, in the meantime in Aries, means there is a secret weakness that is nagging you, basically. Maybe some kind of inferiority complex that is still hiding in your subconscious that you have to bring to the light. Lunations this month occur on your 2nd to the 8th axis. So it's about what is mine versus what is yours. Your focus is on boosting your self-esteem, basically increasing your income, and also dealing with how much you share with your partner. Not only money-wise, but also how much of yourself you choose to share, actually. Best dates for Taurus now. So, on the 2nd, there is this Venus sextile Pluto aspect that is quite nice and will feel quite empowering and will give depth to your emotions and passions. On the 11th, Venus square the nodes will be then quite a social day. We'll meet many people and have a nice time out with them. On the 18th, Venus is trining Chiron, so this is all about, softer interactions with others where empathy is shown and understanding, and you can listen to the others, telling you of their problems. On the 21st, Venus is squaring Saturn, and this is less than nice because with Venus square Saturn, we have most likely feelings of loneliness, of being a bit cut off from the rest of the world. So, yeah, it's better to be on yourself and maybe meditate. On the 22nd, Venus is conjunct Juno, so quite the contrary. We pass from this feeling of loneliness to this feeling of commitment and engaging with others. We feel attached and emotionally involved. And on the 24th, Venus is squaring Neptune, so this is quite a romantic influence. That might also add a touch of longing and melancholy, because maybe the romantic object of desire is not at hand. Gemini now. Mercury, Gemini's ruler, is in Scorpio till the 12th, and then it goes in Sagittarius. So for the first half of the month, you have quite a serious, focused mindset that turns you into a detective, ready to spot any inconsistencies in others. Maybe read their hidden motivations and sensing any undercurrents in a situation. Because Mercury is right now in the sixth house of daily work, daily routine. You are required to change your habits, basically. Adopt a healthier lifestyle. Perhaps work can be quite challenging at the moment. But then it will move in Sagittarius, and it will meet their Sun and Mars. So it will be a time to focus on your personal, close relationships on a note of overall renewed optimism and get up and go energy. You will put all your energy into either finding a partner or maybe clear the air with the existing partner. All is not smooth though, because there's Mars there. And with Mars, there's always some conflict possible, so some headbutting, some clashing of wills is inevitable. Saturn-Neptune in your 10th suggests a disillusionment with your current career situation. You are less than thrilled with the situation at work, and you are looking for a change. Lots of work, as I said. You give too much of yourself in this respect, and it might feel draining. It is all for a higher good, though, because you act in the name of a higher ideal with Neptune there in Pisces. And you might feel quite inspired, actually, but Saturn there is a bit of a drag. Pluto in the third gives additional insight to your already keen mind. We were talking about it before. While Jupiter retrograde in Cancer either sees you going back to some old sources of income and resuscitating those, or helps you benefit from real estate, for instance, because it's in Cancer, or from family inheritance. Well, since it's retrograde, it can also perhaps take back some of your earnings. Just a warning. With Uranus in the 12th, after having been in your first in Gemini, means you still need to reconsider some unfinished business from the past that is buried deep in your subconscious before you are ready to burst out into the open with all your revolutionary plans. Your time to shine will come soon, perhaps in the spring when Uranus is stepping back again in Gemini, but right now is not yet the right moment. Chiron is in the 11th in Aries. It's been for the last 6 years. So it might help you show more empathy and understanding towards others' plight and extend a helping hand to your friends, towards your friends in need. With the Sun in Capricorn after the 22nd, it's your 8th house of shared resources that gets illuminated. So you have to focus on financial issues, pay your debts, keep your accounts in check. It's always a good idea. The 8th is the natural sequel of the 7th, so it's also... Once in a relationship with a partner, you need to establish what is yours, what is theirs, and what belongs to both. You need to be clear on that. And also the 8th house might be concerned with other darker topics. So perhaps you might be also confronted with question of illness therapy, perhaps in your close environment and not directly concerning yourself. Sometimes it might be the passing of people and things. So you will end the year on a thoughtful note with this in mind. Lunations are occurring this month on your 1st to the 7th axis. So for the whole of the month, your focus is on yourself and your partner. You're trying to balance things out and get your needs met in relationships. So the full moon is occurring on the 1st house. It's mostly a matter of yourself, your image, your appearance. Maybe you are doing some significant changes to your appearance and style. And the new moon is concerning your 7th house of partnerships. So perhaps a new partner is coming, or perhaps your attitude towards a partnership will change. Okay, most important dates this month. On the 6th of December, Mercury is trining Jupiter. So this is quite a nice day, full of enthusiasm, full of energy. You might get good news or maybe think of new projects. On the 7th, Mercury is trining Saturn, and with this, this is more of a serious, stable, steady state of mind where you can concentrate on the work to be done, and you have your ideas clear and well expressed. On the 11th, Mercury is trining Neptune, and this comes as a new source of inspiration, as maybe, excited imagination, daydreaming also. On the 13th, Mercury is sextiling Pluto, and this is an empowering experience, you know. You feel more convincing, more persuading, and you feel that you are heard, you know. You make an impact on people. On the 20th, Mercury is squaring the nodes, so this makes for a lot of social interaction, lots of meetings, reunions, talk, messages, whatever. On the 28th, Mercury is squaring Chiron, so it's a day to listen to others, to share your problems, and overall to be empathetic and caring. And on the 30th, Mercury is squaring Saturn, and this ends the year on a note of hard work. Perhaps you'll feel a bit tired. It's the end of the year after all. Huh? So we are all looking forward to holidays. Now for Cancer. So Cancerians still have Jupiter in their sign, that is retrograde right now, and that gives them a great boost to the ego. The world is their oyster, and they are fueled by the expansive enthusiasm of the king of the gods. They can count on their luck to carry them through, and through anything that might come their way, because Jupiter acts a little bit like a guardian angel. They will be full of hope and get up and go energy, and maybe a little bit less now that Jupiter is retrograde yet. So, though. They probably will be more focused on their own well-being as well, because, well, Jupiter can be well-being, and in Cancer it takes care of your nurturing, your food. Yeah, well, they also might be focused on furthering their projects, you know, but beware of excess, because with Jupiter there's always a risk of excess. Maybe a little bit less of a risk right now, because there is this trine from Jupiter to Saturn Neptune from Pisces in the 9th house. So Saturn Neptune will especially affect plans and projects concerning higher education, travel, and they might actually hamper plans in these matters. Probably travel will be a bit restricted, which is not good news right now before the holidays. On the one hand, we have this desire to, you know, to soar to the sky, to see the world, to have meaningful experiences, because Jupiter is in Cancer in the 1st. But then Saturn Neptune is throwing a damper on travel plans, unfortunately. But spiritual evolution, that side of the 9th house, will certainly be favored, because it's Neptune there, and also projects concerning higher education. So it's a great time to enlist for a diploma, as you will have both the inspiration and the staying power, the stamina to do it. Pluto is in the 8th house, so the lord of the underworld, in the house of transformation and death, so it's not quite something to trifle with. It is a long-term challenge to Cancerians, because Pluto will be there for the next 20 years. And it can manifest as health issues. You shouldn't minimize them. That might require therapy, and perhaps also psychological issues that demand to be actively unearthed and taken care of, transformed, you know. Of course, it can also be about financial transactions involving big sums of money, because it's Pluto, and Pluto is expanding whatever it touches. Either way, it is a life-changing experience, and it's a topic that Cancer will engage for the next years to come. 20, actually, as I said. Uranus, in the meantime, in the 11th, can produce a rehaul of the social circle, can bring you in contact with new, you know, unorthodox, extraordinary people, and this can also provoke some unexpected breakups, perhaps. So future plans might also be somehow unorthodox, because Uranus is in the house of 11th house, which is also the house of future plans. Chiron in the 10th might feel like a thorn in the side regarding public status and career. It's in Aries right now. So maybe you feel like you are underachieving, and that you are in the wrong place at your job, or maybe in the wrong profession altogether, and you are reflecting about a change of profession. The Sun in Sagittarius in the first 3 weeks of the month will turn your focus first to the minutiae of everyday life, especially as it concerns work. And then in Capricorn, for the last 10 days, it will be all about your partner, your significant other, with whom you will get to spend lovely winter holidays, because the Sun will be together there with Venus. Lunations this month occur on your 6th to the 12th axis. So it is a time to pay attention to your health, maybe take time to rest and relax, and maybe dream a little, because it's the 12th house we are talking about. The full moon is occurring in the 12th house. So this might be a sudden revelation coming from your subconscious, perhaps. Perhaps some, an important dream that feels significant to you, that speaks to you. And then on the 6th, we have the new moon, which might be a new health regimen that you are starting right now. So Cancer is ruled by the moon, as we all know. So this accounts for its changeable and sensitive nature. So of course the moon during December, as every month actually, as it always does, it goes full circle. So it will reach, so doing, each planet in turn. So here are the important dates. On the 1st of December, the moon is conjunct Chiron. So it's going to be, well, a sensitive day where maybe we're going to be feeling triggered easily. So we should pay attention to that. On the 3rd, it will be conjunct Uranus. And this makes for quite a tense, nervous atmosphere when we can expect the unexpected, all kinds of surprises. On the 7th, the moon is conjunct Jupiter, so this is finally, a moment of enthusiasm, of great joy, when we feel boosted and ready to take on the world. On the 9th, the moon is trining all these planets in Sagittarius, and this is again a great opportunity for expansion, for traveling, for learning. So on the 11th, it will make a square to the same planets. So more of the same, but try not to get overboard. On the 12th, the moon is opposing Saturn, Neptune, and this is not such a great day, because you might feel quite tired and a bit, defeatist, a bit let down like this. So don't worry, because it's very transitory. It will pass by the end of the day. On the 17th, there is a trine to Jupiter and another trine to Saturn. So this makes for another grand trine in water. Quite a nicely balanced day, with emotions kept in check and also kept to yourself in the process. On the 19th, the moon is reaching the planets in Sagittarius. So again, quite an expansive day. Full of events, full of movement, and also full of projects for the future. On the 22nd, it's conjoining Pluto, and this is quite another thing. So with the conjunction to Pluto, the atmosphere can feel quite heavy, the emotions are very deep and intense, and you might also be faced with a life-changing dilemma. It's quite a heavy day overall. Okay, on the 26th, the moon is encountering Saturn, Neptune, both of them in Pisces, and this is again a day of a bit, when you feel a bit tired and worn out and you need a rest and a time out, maybe isolate yourself a little bit from the rest. And on the 28th, it's again meeting Chiron, so it's again revealing your weakness, your sensitivities, maybe put you in an embarrassing situation, but again, it's transient, so don't worry. Okay, Leo now. So, the sun, which is Leo's ruler, is in Sagittarius right now, and it will be for the first 20 days, roughly, of the month, together with Mars. So that means it's a playtime for Leos, basically. They are basking in the benevolent rays of the sun in a friendly sign, after all. So Leos will make the most of this agreeable time to go out on dates, enjoy sports and hobbies, and generally having great fun. And also for those of you who are parents, you can spend more quality time with your children. This is also a bonus now. Lunations will occur on the 5th to the 11th axis. So this is a social, dynamic month where you feel like hanging out with friends and just having a good time because you deserve it. Okay, the new moon, no, just a minute. So the full moon is going to happen in your 11th house. So maybe a significant encounter with friends. Maybe some significant developments in your friend circle. And then the new moon will occur in your 5th. So this can speak even of a new encounter with perhaps starting a new love affair. Huh? Who knows? Meanwhile, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in the 8th, of course, is the skeleton in the cupboard. This is the nasty, tiresome issue that no one wants to think of. Maybe some money issues are worrying you. Maybe some sad news about people close to you are spoiling your party. Maybe health-wise, you would do better to pay attention to symptoms right now, because don't neglect them, because they might be meaningful and you might regret later. Pluto in the 7th, in the meantime, in Aquarius. This is pressure on your couple to transform and grow. This might come about through maybe power struggles, as the two of you are not seeing eye to eye on an important matter, well, on a matter that's important for both of you. There might be some competition going on, or your partner might go through a difficult time right now, or maybe simply one of you is outgrowing the relationship. Anyway, we are talking about a 20-year time span, because Pluto will stay in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So you have all this time in which such issues might develop. Meanwhile, Jupiter in the 12th acts like your guardian angel and is guiding you and watching over you. It might just be your subconscious, perhaps, self-directing you towards a beneficial direction. Uranus in the 10th is promising quite radical action in the career field. You might undertake a radical change of direction, with an added sense of urgency, because Uranus right now is in the last degrees of Taurus. An important event might put you on a new and different track. Well, this might have been the case already for the last 6-7 years when Uranus was in Taurus, but right now it's closing this chapter, so it's a last chance to move, last chance to move on and actually reach your objectives. Chiron in the 9th is announcing some embarrassing mishaps, perhaps while traveling, or maybe on a more philosophical level, because the 9th house is also spirituality. You might feel that your beliefs have let you down, and you are moved to question them right now. Best dates for Leos this month, or rather, let's say, more significant ones. On the 5th of December, Sun will be squaring the nodes. So this is a social day. You will meet with friends, you'll have many meetings, maybe also at work, and it will feel quite social and lots of communication going on. On the 14th, the Sun is trining Chiron, and this will be a more quiet, maybe introspective day. You may feel more empathy towards yourself and towards others as well. On the 17th, the Sun is squaring Saturn, and this can bring quite a lot of blockages and obstacles. Unfortunately, you will feel quite tired, and this may even manifest on a physical level, like some, your joints might hurt a little bit. Overall, just, fatigue, tiredness. On the 17th also, the Sun is conjunct Juno, and this means you take a serious approach to your committed relationships. As we said, Pluto is in your 7th of your couple, of your significant, partnerships. So the 17th is a day when you really reflect on the state of your couple and what is to be done in order to better things. Virgo now. So Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which is in Scorpio in the first half of the month. This is your 3rd house. So this promises quite a lively month, which is full of communication, small trips, quick exchanges, and overall a busy mind. And well, this is always the case because you are Virgo, you are Mercury ruled sign, but even more in the first half of the month. The Scorpio characteristics will leave their marks, so you can develop a love of mysteries, a passion for solving puzzles and riddles. You will probe deep and you will be challenged to understand more of the secret motivations, perhaps, of human nature. In the second half of the month, Mercury will join Venus in Sagittarius, and this will happen in your 4th. So this might mean good news about your home, about real estate, actually maybe moving home, maybe relocating, because this is Sagittarius and is linked to travel and faraway places. Already in the beginning of the month, the Sun in Sagittarius is highlighting that sector of your life, of home, roots, family. So maybe getting closer to your parents, getting on better terms with them is the focus. And lunations are also occurring on your 4th to 10th axis, further stressing matters of home versus career. Actually, if I look well, The lunation, actually the full moon, is happening in your 10th house, so it might be quite a significant event at work with your career. You might receive a gratification of some kind, or you might decide that you should change careers altogether. Maybe nothing as drastic though. And in the 4th, there will be the new moon occurring, which means perhaps a change in your home. So either moving or modifying something, fixing up something. Saturn Neptune, in the meantime, is in your 7th and have been for quite a while. And this can be a bit problematic for your close relationships. In your couple, there might be feelings of even despondency because of a long-term lack of joy. You might feel a bit estranged from your partner right now. Maybe both of you are working too hard with Saturn there and don't have time, to share moments of joy together. Maybe you feel just too tired to start any common projects. And the message here is don't give up too soon, because both that Saturn and Neptune will leave Pisces for Aries in the beginning of next year. So you will feel like a fog has lifted and you will be your normal self in relationship again. Pluto in your 6th is asking you to pay attention to your life routine, to your health, and to improve your way of living and also working. There is an opportunity here for you to transform your lifestyle, and this opportunity can feel quite rejuvenating, because Pluto there is, is a bit like a phoenix, rise back again from the ashes. Jupiter in the 11th is expanding your circle of friends, while Uranus in the 9th is calling you to widen your horizon. Both, in practical terms, go out and see the world, or metaphorically speaking, because it can be in the shape of acquiring more knowledge, not necessarily actual traveling. Best dates for Virgo now. So it's more or less the same best dates as for Gemini, because Mercury is involved. So on the 6th, with the trine to Jupiter, great day to travel, to make new plans, to feel optimistic and also generous. On the 7th, there's a trine to Saturn, so you will feel grounded. You have your feet on the ground. You will have you will show quite a display of common sense, and your thoughts will be clear and well expressed. On the 11th, with the trine to Neptune, it will be a day of inspiration, of daydreaming. Maybe you can, write something nice, because self-expression will be quite smooth. On the 13th, Mercury will be sextiling Pluto, so it's a day to be persuasive, convincing, clear-headed, and actually act with impact. On the 20th, Mercury is squaring the nodes. This is a nice social day, lots of meetings, maybe actually a bit too much of them, too much exchange and communication. On the 28th, there's this trine to Chiron that sees you being more empathetic, more caring, more indulgent also with other people's shortcomings. And on the 30th, at the end of the month, a square to Saturn, because after all this work and all this exchange and all this nervous tension, you might be a bit tired. It's time to rest. Okay, Libra now. So Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is in Sagittarius in your 3rd house for almost the whole month. So this puts you in an optimistic frame of mind. This will be an animated month where a lot of exchange will take place within your close environment, with your siblings, with your acquaintances, with your neighbors. And all these people will have a lot of nice things to say to you, because this is being Venus. The other planets in Sagittarius also add to this rejuvenated, curious, restless state of mind. On the other hand, we have this Saturn Neptune on the 6th for some time already. And this can affect your health and your zest for life. Because basically with Saturn there is work aplenty. So you won't feel your most energetic self. And yet there is so much to do. You feel like you never get enough rest. And this can be a bit dispiriting. Maybe your pets can suffer some illness too, because the 6th is also the house of small animals. But cheer up, because these planets, Saturn and Neptune, will leave Pisces for Aries in February next year, and especially they will move out of conjunction, so the pressure will ease a bit. Meanwhile, Pluto in the 5th in Aquarius might bring some major challenges, maybe from your kids, who might go through a challenging phase of life themselves and need your support, for instance. Well, growing up is a challenge in itself, to be sure. But this is also an opportunity to develop your creativity because, well, it's the 5th house of self-expression. So you might express yourself on a grander scale if you feel thus inclined. And it might also add intensity to your love life. You might see an intense and life-transforming love affair, perhaps in the years that Pluto will be in Aquarius, which is the next 20 years. And this is welcome because in the meantime, Chiron is in 7th in Aries. And this has been making you less than happy with the current state of affairs in your relationship. This might have offered you also a chance to heal, some long-standing wounds regarding your way of relating to your partner. Don't be afraid of honesty in this respect between the two of you, because good communication is key, especially this month when the importance of communication is really stressed with the Venus in the 3rd house. Jupiter in the 10th is protecting your career, so you are highly regarded in your professional circle. And now might be the time to ask for a promotion before Jupiter leaves Cancer for Leo in the summer of 26. Uranus in the 8th might also bring some unexpected, unfortunate losses and bad news. Lunations are occurring on the 3rd to the 9th axis, so indeed learning, communication, traveling will feature strongly. Okay, so the full moon is occurring in your 9th house of travel. If you are traveling, so expect perhaps some sort of crisis occurring. But then the new moon will occur on your 3rd, and this is about a new way of expressing yourself, maybe saying something that you wanted to say for a long time. The best dates for Libra now. Okay, so it's a bit like for Taurus, because we speak also of Venus. So on the 2nd, Venus is sextile in Pluto, a day of intense feelings, of intense emotions, maybe confiding in someone. On the 11th, Venus is squaring the nodes, so this is social life, meeting people, going out, socialize. On the 18th, Venus is trining Chiron, which makes for a day of listening to others, opening your heart to others, feeling more caring and more sensitive. On the 21st, Venus is squaring Saturn, and this might feel a little bit lonesome. You might feel a bit cut off from others and left to your own problems. And on the 22nd, Venus will move on to Juno. So this makes for a serious attitude concerning your committed relationships. You will reflect on the state of your partnership and what is to be done. And on the 24th, Venus is squaring Neptune, and you will feel all romantic and soft-hearted, and perhaps will, long for something in the past. All these remembrances are coming back up again. Okay, now for Scorpio. Scorpio has this modern ruler, which is Pluto. This is in Aquarius in your 4th house. Are you planning any major transformation to your home? Does it need fixing, perhaps? Anyway, questions about home, roots, family are here to stay for the next 20 years that Pluto will be in Aquarius. Scorpio is a fixed sign for a reason, so you won't put a matter to rest before you are finished with it. And in this case, it will be matters related to home. Mars, the other traditional ruler of Scorpio, is in a Sagittarius till mid-month, in your 2nd. So you will shift for yourself and put all your energy into creating sources of income, maybe exploring new avenues of financial success. This is supported by the other planets in Sagittarius, so the Sun, then Venus, then even Mercury at the end of the month. Then with the Capricorn in your 3rd, when Mars will go into Capricorn in your 3rd, this will enliven your social life, your everyday life. It will push you to go out more and interact with your friends and acquaintances for the holidays. Saturn Neptune in Pisces in the 5th. Well, it's been there for quite some time and has probably brought you quite some worries regarding your love life, maybe your children if you're a parent. If you were dating, maybe you kept being disappointed. If you have children, maybe they weren't behaving in a way that you wanted them to. Maybe they didn't fulfill expectations. Problems right now might seem insurmountable because Saturn Neptune can feel like the end of the world. But trust that they will clear away soon. Because both of these planets will move out of Pisces and into Aries, and the conjunction also will ease out a bit. Jupiter in the 9th is the call of faraway places, the urge to travel and maybe to open up your mind to wider knowledge. You may feel more spiritual and open-minded with Jupiter in Cancer, and keen to develop new ideas and a new philosophy of life. Uranus in the 7th has probably changed the landscape of your personal relationships these last few years, actually 6 to 7 years. And right now it is back in Taurus for a short while. If things were shaky with your partner, be it romantic or business actually, partnerships, you can expect the relationship to crumble now. There is this urgency added because it's the last degree of Taurus we are speaking of. On a positive side, this might bring you unexpected new connections that will develop into a solid bond. Chiron in the 6th, in the meantime, is asking you to take better care of yourself, and health-wise, especially in the midst of this intense time. Lunations are occurring on your 2nd to the 8th axis, asking you to pay attention to your finances, especially. Perhaps bringing good tidings of substantial earnings, given the efforts that you put into it, as we said before. The crisis will concern shared property and debts, perhaps, that need sorting out. And the new moon is occurring in the 2nd, and this might be actually good news of new sources of income. Best dates for Scorpio. Okay. Well, on the 2nd, we see Venus sextiling Pluto and Mars conjoined Juno. So this is a day that is concerned especially with emotions regarding your close relationships, your partner. So it's quite an intense day. Your feelings will run deep and you will feel quite committed. But watch out for any conflicts that might arise, because Mars is there and tensions might be high. Then on the 5th of December, Mars is trining Chiron, so then you might mend whatever was broken with the previous conflict 3 days before. It's a day of empathy and caring, basically, and also healing. On the 9th, Mars is squaring Saturn, and this can be quite a tiresome day with lots of work and obstacles to be surmounted. On the 13th, yes, Mercury is sextiling Pluto. So this is a day of important communication. You might receive an important message at this time, or you might prove, be yourself more convincing and express yourself more forcefully. On the 14th, Mars is squaring Neptune, so it's a day to rest a little bit, maybe to take some time for yourself and meditate, because you won't be in the best shape of your life. You will feel a little bit tired and sleepy also. Okay, now Sagittarius. Jupiter is your ruler and is in Cancer right now, retrograde in your 8th house. So this is not an easy time, because you feel more sensitive at the moment, maybe even reclusive. You might need to reconsider things from the past that might have hurt you. The problem is your mindset right now that is leaning on the pessimistic side with the 8th house, and you ponder mostly negative thoughts. Luckily, there are many planets in Sagittarius, Sun, Mars, Venus, and then Mercury, and all this is giving you a confidence boost, especially with the Sun and Mars that are already there. You are a fire sign, and you are craving action. So you might feel compelled to take some action yourself, because Mars is in your sign till mid-month. In the second half, with Mercury there as well, this action will be probably linked to communication, and you might actually initiate communication on thoughts that have been brewing for quite a while in your mind, because Mercury was retrograde in Scorpio before. Venus is in Sagittarius till the 25th, so these thoughts most likely have to do with matters of love and affection. Anyway, Venus in Sagittarius is a very good omen for you, and it's actually a guarantee that things will turn at least somewhat right. Saturn and Neptune are both in your 4th house in Pisces for quite some time. So home is not quite a satisfying place to be right now. Maybe you have trouble putting down roots. Well, Sagittarius is a nomad in his heart anyway, and staying put is not in his nature. Relationships with your parents might need mending right now. Pluto in the 3rd is set to transform the way you express yourself and the way you approach also learning and adapting to others. This is a long haul job because Pluto will be in Aquarius for the next 20 years. Your relationship with siblings might undergo a transformation too. You might learn to stand up for yourself more and communicate more forcefully and more openly as well. Maybe stand by your opinions more. Uranus in the 6th is bringing sudden changes to your health regime, to your everyday life and schedule. Nothing is routine anymore, and your program keeps changing, and the schedule is quite hectic. And it did for the last few years because Uranus has been in Taurus for the last 6 years. It was hard to follow on a regular rhythm for all this time. Things kept changing. And they still do, at least until next spring when Uranus will go into Gemini for good. Chiron in the 5th, it's actually pain in your love life, I'm sorry to say, or maybe with your children. Dating probably wasn't all that you think it would be. New connections might have fallen short of expectations. Or maybe kids gave you a hard time if you're a parent, maybe gave you worries. Chiron will move out of Aries in June next year, and I myself as an Aries am so eager to see it leave. Lunations will occur on your 1st to the 7th house axis. So the crisis will occur in your private relationships. It's a culmination of sorts. Then the focus will be on yourself, on the other hand, building a new you, a more confident, stronger, happier version of you. The best dates for Sagittarius, or more important dates, actually, Mercury will be trining Jupiter. This will happen on the 6th, and this will be a great day for communication, expressing yourself, learning new things, maybe also traveling and moving. On the 21st, Jupiter will be squaring Chiron, and this will be quite a difficult day because you will have to expose a part of you that is vulnerable right now, that still hurts. It's a good day to reflect also on your beliefs, on your faith, and see how maybe this needs changing to better suit your needs at the moment. Another significant day might be the 19th, when the moon will conjunct all these planets in Sagittarius, and this might feel like a great day for Sagittarius because you will be able to be yourself, express yourself, have fun, be outgoing, like a true Sagittarius. Capricorn now. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is in Pisces, in your 3rd house. That puts you in a serious frame of mind. People might pay attention to you, might look up at you with respect because they see that you seem so much wiser. Saturn and Neptune actually have been in your 3rd house for quite some time. Neptune in your 3rd, for all this time, might have muddled up your communication a bit. Maybe you felt like daydreaming. Maybe you felt like you couldn't express yourself clearly. And together with Saturn there, the result might have been a bit depressing. But really, there is no need to be so grave. You certainly need an infusion of optimism. It might come under the shape of the Sun and Venus reaching Capricorn in the last week of the month. So finally, it will be a time to smile, relax, and enjoy yourself. Mars is also there in Capricorn, starting the 16th. So you will feel more energetic, more ambitious. You always are, we know that. And more efficient as well. Your objectives might be clearer, and you will get about your business with a renewed drive and sense of purpose in the last half of the month. Till then, things are still brewing in the background, and you can nonetheless feel it already because you can feel that good things are coming there because all the planets in Sagittarius add quite a positive, influence. With Jupiter in your 7th, especially, you open yourself more to the world, and this influence might bring a new connection, a new significant relationship that might be favorable to you in many ways, because this is Jupiter. You might also connect with professional partners that might prove supportive along the way. Any conflicts that you are in have a chance to find a fair resolution that will be mutually beneficial. Uranus in your 5th is a sudden change in your love life, and maybe in your kid's life if you are a parent. Maybe you will suddenly decide to go out dating, or you might discover a new hobby that will keep you entranced. Children might act out a bit impulsively or might surprise you in some way, most likely in a good way. Pluto in the 2nd is challenging you to step up your game and increase your income over the next 20 years that it will be in Aquarius. And yes, you can do it, and yes, you deserve it, because this is Pluto. It is a boost to your self-esteem as well, proving that you are capable of earning so much more. Chiron in your 4th is an old wound, perhaps, regarding your family life, your roots, your relationship to your parents as well. Maybe you don't feel appreciated enough by them, or you might get conditional love by them. If it is about your house, you might not feel comfortable enough in it. Or maybe it is time to leave your parental home, if this is your case, but you don't dare yet. Lunations are occurring on your 6th to the 12th axis. So this is about adapting your lifestyle to better suit your needs, your purposes, tweak your daily routine, maybe change your diet to a healthier one. So the lunation, the full moon, is occurring on your 6th house. It might be a problem of health, a health issue that is occurring at that time. And then the new moon is occurring in your 12th, and this might be about a subconscious realization, or maybe starting a period of meditation and being a little bit by yourself in order to self-reflect. Okay, best dates for Capricorn. On the 7th, Mercury is trining Saturn. So this is a good day to communicate with others, to take decisions, to sign a contract perhaps. On the 9th, Mars is squaring Saturn. So this comes as a challenge from without. This comes as a challenge to get moving. It demands quite a serious exertion and spending your energy on a project. On the 17th, the Sun is squaring Saturn. This can be a serious day of serious decisions and commitments. On the 21st, I think, 20 or 21st, Venus is squaring Saturn. And this is a day for you where you feel, sentimentally involved, when you might feel your emotions that are rising to the surface. But this can also be a little bit of a challenge, these emotions. They might be a bit frustrating. You might get along just fine with elderly people as well. On the 17th, I didn't say, but Saturn is squaring Juno, and this together with the Sun square Saturn. So it's a day to get committed, actually, to sign a contract, perhaps, but also to be more committed in your private relationships, in your relationships as a couple, to feel more engaged. And on the 30th, Mercury is squaring Saturn, and with this, there's communication coming around, but this communication might not be exactly what you expected to hear. Anyway, a lively day. Aquarius now. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. This is the modern ruler, and Uranus is retrograding in your 4th house. This can bring unexpected events regarding your home and family. You thought it was over by now because Uranus has been in Taurus for the last 6 to 7 years. Yet Uranus decided to turn back for one last shake-up. Till next spring, there might be some unsteadiness, some nervousness regarding your home situation. Things might be a little bit on edge, and events might shift at any moment. Maybe you are deciding to move out. Maybe the relationship to a parent might be abruptly changing. This is linked to matters that occurred more likely before July 25th, 2025, when Uranus went into Gemini for the first time. The planets in Sagittarius give you some support from your circle of friends, and also support your future plans, because the 11th house is also concerned with future plans. You might project yourself optimistically into the future. And this is fortunate because, on the other hand, there is Saturn and Neptune together in your 2nd. And this might feel like you cannot count on much resources, especially financial resources. You feel like your income is underwhelming, and this is a bit dispiriting to you. You feel all the more motivated to act to rectify this. Jupiter in the 6th is drive to adopt a healthier lifestyle, especially concerning diet, because it's in Cancer. You are on track to become healthier and fitter, so kudos to you. Chiron in the 3rd can be a bit of pain regarding either a relationship to a sibling, or maybe problems at school, if you are that age, or maybe difficulty in communication, because you might feel like you are not being heard enough, like you cannot express yourself clearly and fully and assert your opinions. This is a long-standing problem. Mercifully, Chiron will step out of Aries next summer after 6 long years. Lunations are occurring on your 5th to the 11th axis, so it is time to let your creativity shine, especially with the full moon. The crisis with the full moon will occur with respect to your love life, perhaps, your children, or your self-expression in creative matters. By crisis, I also mean culmination. It's not necessarily negative. It can be significant events that unlock a situation. So it can be very beneficial, such as a new love contact, perhaps, or maybe your creative potential being suddenly recognized, or your children standing out and being applauded, in some way. You will enlarge your circle of friends, that is to be sure, with the new moon, and will be able to start new projects. The best dates concerning Aquarius, more significant dates. So, Mercury will be opposite Uranus on the 10th, and this can be a day of surprising news, of surprising communication, of surprising moves from you as well. On the 7th, before that, there was this trine of Mercury to Saturn, which can bring, a stable day of reflection, focused work as well, focused concentration. On the 9th, Mars is squaring Saturn, and this can be a day of lots of work, lots of energy spent, with also some obstacles on the way. On the 17th, we have that day when Sun is squaring Saturn, and also Juno is squaring Saturn. So it's a day when your commitments are challenging you, basically, are challenging you to further get yourself involved. On the 21st, Venus is squaring Saturn, and it can be a day of artistic experiences, love experiences, feeling emotions, but together with a sense of frustration. And then finally, Mercury is squaring Saturn on the 30th, and this can be a day of lots of exchange. That can feel also some tiresome. You discuss a lot, you think a lot, you work with your mind a lot, and that might leave you quite tired and exhausted by the end of the day. Pisces now. Okay, so Pisces. We know that Neptune, its ruler, is in Pisces, as it was for the last 13 years or so. During all of those years, you might have felt more inspired, more idealistic, more in touch with your spiritual self, more empathetic also, perhaps. But this last month, it was making this conjunction to Saturn, and that dampened your spirits to quite a great extent. On a positive side, we might say that this has grounded you, because otherwise with Neptune you might get carried away with your imagination and lose a little bit touch with reality. You became certainly more aware of constraints and limitations and learned how to work with them. It might still be the case for the next 2 months, while Neptune is still in Pisces. Responsibilities might be trusted upon you because you are blending inspiration with common sense with Saturn there in Pisces too. In the meantime, planets in Sagittarius are putting the focus on your home and family in a positive and hopeful fashion because it's Sagittarius. Maybe you have plans to upgrade your home. Maybe you spend some nice holidays with your family and your parents, possibly traveling. Sun in Capricorn at the end of the month make you spend more relaxing time with your friends at that time. Uranus in the 3rd is hitting you with lots of unexpected, clever, bright ideas, as was the case these last 6 or 7 years. Your communication style has probably changed in this time, making it perhaps more sharper, more to the point. Disruption in relationship with siblings might have occurred, and probably has occurred, and might still occur till next spring. Possible conflict with neighbors also is still on the horizon. If you are of school age, your behavior at school might be a bit erratic and prospects might still abruptly change. Chiron in your second makes you feel painfully inadequate with respect with money earning. Are you not feeling worthy of a better income? It all boils down in the end to self-esteem and how much you value yourself. You need a confidence booster, especially after all this time with Saturn and Neptune in your sign. That might have left you tired and have possibly also affected your health. Lunations this month are occurring on your 4th to the 10th axis, so it is about home versus career, family versus public status. The culmination, the full moon, is happening in matters related to home and family, and that will give way afterwards with a new moon to a new beginning in terms of career. The planets in Sagittarius act as a real boost in this respect and offer you opportunities to rejoice in a public recognition, perhaps, of your merits. So important dates for Pisces might involve the 11th, when Mercury is trining Neptune, so this is communication in a good way that is harmonious and inspired and goes smoothly. On the 14th, Mars is squaring Neptune, and this might actually ask of you to really exert yourself, to really spend a good deal of your energy on a project, but that can also leave you quite tired. On the 21st, the Sun is squaring Neptune, so this is inspiration. This is a clear idea of where you are headed actually to. On the 24th, Venus is squaring Neptune, and it's a day of romantic feelings with a touch of longing and melancholy to it, perhaps. On the 28th, Neptune is squaring Juno, but this is a long duration aspect. It's only exact on the 28th. And this might mean that your commitments are not entirely clear to you. The basis of your commitments actually is not clear. Maybe it's not solid. Maybe you still need to clarify things with your partner, in order for it to be an equal give and take. Okay, on the other hand, Jupiter is also Pisces ruler. It is in Cancer right now. It's also connected to roots and family. And dates concerning Jupiter are also important. So in that respect, Mercury trining Jupiter on the 6th is a day of great communication, great optimism. It's a great day to start to travel, perhaps. And Jupiter squaring Chiron on the 21st might be a day when your beliefs are challenged a little bit, when you feel, put to the test perhaps, and maybe put in an embarrassing situation, and where you have to expose your vulnerable side. This is a theme right now with this Jupiter square Chiron that is ongoing. Okay, so that was more or less what I had for you for this month of December. Okay, I wish you all a great December, great winter holidays if I don't see you till then. And actually, I'm looking forward to see you again for the weekly forecast for next week. So bye-bye, take care.